David Ignatius, I just have to circle back to you because we bumped in with an official of the Trump administration actually saying that Joe Biden won the 2020 election. I loved your column, your most recent column, where you thanked the president for undercutting his own argument, which is exactly what he did. The telling part of that entire charade was when he released the documents that said two things. Number one, the Russians were trying to influence the campaign to help Donald Trump become elected president of the United States. And number two, that when enemies of America want to disrupt democracy, what they do is they start spreading doubt about the fairness of elections. Again, Donald Trump calling himself out. I'm not saying he's an enemy of democracy. I'm just a humble, as you know, state school, dumb country lawyer. I'm saying in these documents contain intel assessments that if foreign powers want to undermine the United States' confidence in democracy, then what they will do first is they will try to undermine their confidence in fair and free elections, which is, of course, against all evidence what Donald Trump has been doing since 2020.
So, Joe, this was an amazing spectacle, really. For people who didn't watch Thursday night, the president was really, almost shouting. He was making the wildest charges about election fraud and deep state conspiracies. It's the kind of thing that you see online in very intense blogs and sites, but you don't hear that directly very often from the president. But he said, if you want to check this out, go to whitehouse.gov and look at the intelligence documents that I've just declassified. So over the weekend, I took him at his word, and I thought, okay, I'm not doing anything else Saturday other than watching England massacre France. But I did read these documents, and it's extraordinary, Joe, that if you look over them carefully, they rebut almost everything that the president said. A key part of his case was the Chinese tried to defeat me, intentionally went out to defeat me in the 2020 election, which obviously he still can't get over. He can't believe that he lost. So it must have been the Chinese. And you look at the intelligence assessments that were produced, which he's, thank you very much, supplied, and you see that the consensus judgment of the intelligence community was precisely the opposite, that the Chinese did not decide to intervene to defeat Trump. They thought about it, but they decided against it. There were a few analysts who disagreed and thought the Chinese had done more, although not everything they could have. They were given separate space to make the argument. It was kind of a classic snapshot of how our intelligence community actually works. If this is a deep state, man, it moves at the speed of a snail. They go week after week debating sentence by sentence. So it couldn't have been more different from what the president was arguing. And I think it was wonderful, in a weird way, that he invited us all to look at the actual material. When he makes charges so often, we scramble to fact check them. In this case, the president provided the fact checking glossary right there, whitehouse.gov. Thank you very much.
Wouldn't it be nice if millions more Americans had spent their weekend doing what you did, David?
No.
Actually looking at the actual documents.
No, I did it so they didn't have to.
They didn't have to, which is why it's so extraordinary that Chris Wright, the energy secretary, said, it sure seems to me like he did win the 2020 election. Shouldn't be extraordinary, but it is.